Welcome back, everybody. Today we're here to talk about the Walking Dead universe because recently the showrunner for Fear the Walking Dead said that there's going to be a walker in season 5 that's going to really change the world. And that's like, I don't know, that's like a very, descriptive, way to explain a walker. And I want to talk about, more about what he said and what it could be and, how this walker could possibly change the universe. We're going to look back on the trailer for Fear the Walking Dead and talk all about that in this video today. So with that being said, let's get started. So before we talk about exactly, what this walker could be, I want to read exactly what the showrunner said. So he said, there will be one walker in particular. I have to be careful saying this around the Walking Dead universe. Chief Content Officer Scott Goldberg said, let's just say that this walker will open a universe of possibilities for our storytelling. So again, that's a very, crazy descriptive way to describe a walker. And, like he said, it's going to change the way they storytell on The Walking Dead. So it could potentially be like a brand new walker completely, like something we've never seen before. And I personally think that would be really cool. Like imagine like a brand new type of walker. Imagine like a running walker. How crazy would that be? Now, I don't think it's going to be a running walker because if there's like walkers that run, I mean, that would essentially change the universe. Like maybe because it does look like in Fear the Walking Dead we're gonna be meeting this new group that's dealing with walkers, like a military type group. We have this image from the trailer of this guy in a hazmat suit, so that it could definitely be like an experimental walker. But comicbook.com did bring up some possible ideas of what it could be, and I want to discuss these, and then you guys in the comments down below tell me if you agree or disagree or what you think this walker could be. So they bring up the idea that it could possibly be a character who's dead, like a dead character from The Walking Dead comes on to Fear the Walking Dead. And they kind of suggest that it could possibly be Heath. You guys let me know in the comments down below. Do you think it could be Heath? It could be like Heath or Sherry because there are some characters who are missing in The Walking Dead. Heath would be a big one. Sherry also would be a big one too because Dwight now is on Fear the Walking Dead. So, the whole reason he left The Walking Dead was to look for Sherry. That's what he said in the finale, or that's what Daryl told him to do in the finale. So, he's been looking for Sherry this entire time, I'm assuming. And when he comes on Fear the Walking Dead season 5, I'm assuming he's going to tell them about Sherry. So, we have no word if Sherry's going to be on Fear, like the actress or anything. We have no word on that at all. I'm assuming she's not because I think now, since they're so into filming season 5 of Fear, I feel like they would have announced that or somebody would have seen him on set because that is the main reason why they announced, Austin Amelia was going on to Fear. And the same thing with Lenny James Morgan because they know people are going to find out when they're filming. So just unless they're really keeping it under wraps, or she's a walker, I just don't think Sherry's gonna come back. And they could definitely pull off, a Sherry walker, or even a Heath walker. It probably takes a day at least to film that, or at the most to film that, just in and out and they're done with. But again, just based on what Goldberg, the showrunner, what he said, I just don't think that if it's gonna be somebody who's a dead walker, like somebody like Heath or Sherry, it's not gonna change the way, like open up a universe of possibilities for our storytelling is what he said. I don't think it's gonna do anything. They also suggested that it could possibly be a Whisperer that comes into Fear the Walking Dead. That would be really interesting. I know Whisperers on Fear has been a big conversation for a long time, even since the beginning. Like people thought the Whisperer or Fear would be the origin story for the Whisperer. So I think that would be really interesting if a Whisperer does come onto Fear the Walking Dead. But again, opening up a universe of possibilities for our storytelling, a Whisperer is not going to do that because the Whisperers are already on The Walking Dead. It has to be something that's going to be out of this world and crazy, and I just feel like it's going to tie back to Rick. That's all I'm saying. Like I just have a feeling it's going to tie back into Rick. I also want to read this excerpt from their article that kind of ties into Rick, because if it's going to open up the possibility of storytelling, I feel like it has to be something that's beyond just their location. But anyways, this is what comicbook.com had to say. Is it possible there will be a walker which can be cured of the zombie virus? As AMC develops a trio of movies centered around Rick Grimes in an area far, far away from Alexandria, there is a possibility the Walking Dead universe is building towards an endgame which can involve a cure for the virus of some sort. Such narratives have been explored in either series or comic book source material, but films such as World War Z and I Am Legend offered up interesting takes on how to cure apocalyptic viruses for their respective endings. Now, this is interesting to me because I think, we see The Walking Dead, making another spin-off, and they're definitely, The Walking Dead is pretty known. Like, we know The Walking Dead doesn't stick 100% to the comics. Like, we know that they stick to the major plot points, but they add in things here and there. And Fear the Walking Dead, brand new show, this new spin-off, brand new show. So obviously they're not gonna stick to the comics. And I know Robert Kirkman said that the zombie apocalypse, like the cure and stuff, isn't like, for Robert Kirkman, it's not about the zombies. His comic book, I think he recently had an interview about this also, but he said that for him, The Walking Dead is just about these characters surviving in this world, but he doesn't really want to focus on the cure and stuff, for the comics at least. But AMC owning The Walking Dead and doing their own things with it, I definitely think for the end game, like they're mentioning here, like when The Walking Dead finally wraps up, and I don't know when, and they could even maybe start building towards it with the Rick Grimes movies, I definitely think there has to be a cure involved some way. Now, the cure might not work, and it possibly won't work because of how deep The Walking Dead is now. Looking at The Walking Dead, it's over a decade now, I think, into the apocalypse. So it's very deep into it. So maybe they can't fix everything. But I just think that if they're expanding this world and they're running into other, communities, there has to be some sort of community that focuses on, zombies, just zombies in general. Like, they want to do experiments and they want to focus on a cure. I think there has to be a group that they run into sometime. And I think also with the group that Rick is going to, I think that's also what they're doing. That's why I think that, because they have been saying that the first half of season 5 of Fear the Walking Dead is gonna, connect to the bigger world of The Walking Dead. So I just think it's connected with Rick. And going back to the group that Rick is going to, like, we saw, like, that their whole A and B system. Like, why else are they trading people for food with Jadis? Like, why is Jadis having walkers bite people and then trading them? Like, what are you going to do with somebody who's bit besides kill them? Experiment on them. And I think that's what this group is doing, right? Because why else would they, like, I just feel like that's their purpose. And I feel like wherever this group that Rick is going to is, some militarized group with scientists. And that's why I think it is going to be connected with Fear. And I definitely think it is going to be something, along those lines with somebody experimenting on walkers. Regardless if it's related to Rick or not, I do think it's going to happen in Fear season 5. And I'll get to that in just a minute. But, experimented walkers, I think, is what this one walker that they're talking about. Because the other walkers, like a dead person or a whisperer or whatever that, other ideas that we are throwing out there, I just don't think any of those would open up the possibility of storytelling, like Ian Goldberg, the showrunner, said. But if they do introduce a group that is focusing on a cure and experimenting on, walkers and stuff, there could be so much storytelling there. You could do spin-offs just on that, like how this organization started, and just so much around, that group. So I do think that's what they're going to be talking about. And going back to that guy that I was talking about earlier, this dude in the hazmat suit, like, obviously this guy is doing something, that is not ordinary in the world of The Walking Dead. Everybody else is trying to survive, and this guy is doing something else. And we also have this walker right here. And this walker has obviously been affected by radiation. And the reason I say radiation is because we also have this shot in the trailer where Alicia falls on top of this, like, it looks like it's like a broken down gate, and it says caution, high radiation area. And the interesting thing is that this guy in the hazmat suit and the walker, in the trailer, they come right after each other. It's like a split second, it goes boom boom, and they show both these characters. So and it's like very quick, so I do think that's what he's referring to. And if somebody's wearing a hazmat suit, I think they may be going to the radiation area. Like people want to avoid radiation area, but if you're wearing a hazmat suit, you're most likely going there to do experiments. And this walker obviously looks like it's been affected by radiation, and I think it might not be this walker in particular that they're talking about, because obviously they wouldn't show the walker in the trailer, but I think this is what their idea and what they're talking about, like, with the walker that is going to change storytelling. I think it's going to be it is a little bit tough, because he said, like, there's going to be one walker in particular, so we'll see. Maybe it's going to be a completely different walker who's acting different than all the other walkers. But I do think it's tied into this whole radiation thing. But I'm excited for Fear the Walking Dead season 5, especially the first half, because of what they said and how it's connected to the bigger world. I can't wait to find out what this group is, and even based on the trailer, like we have that airplane, and it looks to be like a big government type group, and I can't wait to find out what it is. But let me know in the comments down below, like, what do you guys think it is? Like, you know, it's a little tough, a little tricky to say exactly what it could be, because he did say it's like one walker in particular. But my best guess is that during experiments, and maybe one walker is different than, like, maybe they did something to like one walker, and that walker is so different than anything else. Like, I cannot wait to find out. I'm pretty excited for Fear the Walking Dead. A little bit over a month, but let me know in the comments down below, what do you guys think it is? Do you think it's related to the radiation or something completely different? Let me know. But I am gonna wrap it up there. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like rating. Again, be sure to leave all your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, guys, and for more Walking Dead content just like this, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys later.